Hey, what's up? This is Martha D Style with That Hashtag Show. You know what that means? If I'm back, then Star Trek is back. And you best believe I'm excited because season 2 of Lower Decks has finally dropped on Paramount Plus. And let me tell you, I need answers. First of all, if you don't remember, the way we ended season 1 of Lower Decks, we saw that Boimler got a promotion, he took off, didn't tell anybody, and he's been ghosting Mariner this entire time. What's up with that? Secondly, Rutherford got his implant yanked out while he was being saved by Lieutenant Sax before Lieutenant Sax died. And so now, what's going on with Rutherford? Is his brain back to normal? Does he remember what happened? I need to know. So there's a lot we gotta dive into in season 2 of Lower Decks. And I'm so excited to give you this recap of episode 1 called Strange Energies. The hostility is real. We do see at the beginning of this episode, Mariner is in a fight with Cardassians in a jail cell, and you see Boimler is completely chained up and he's asking for help, and the Cardassian's like, "You're gonna help this guy?" And she's like, "No, he's a traitor. He left, didn't say anything." Come to find out, it's a holographic program. We see that an Andorian comes in and interrupts, and she's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "This is gym time." She's like, "Yo, the captain wants to see you." So she stops the program and she's like, "We're not supposed to be fighting with other species, but I really hate that Andorian." It's kind of cool to see the Andorians make a comeback. We did see them a little bit in Discovery, and of course they are here in Lower Decks. So we see that the mother-daughter relationship between Mariner and Captain Freeman is going strong. They are doing away missions together, just having a great time. Mariner is using it to her advantage though, because now she can get away with anything. And Jack Ransom is just not having it. As Freeman's number 1, he is starting to feel that separation, that no longer being needed anymore. Mariner is now the number 1, but not officially, but we do see that there is the favoring happening. It makes for quite an interesting story in this first episode. Down on a planet, second contact is happening, and Mariner asks Captain Freeman, "Hey, can I clean up some of these sites? These people just have never taken care of what's happening down on their planet." And Captain Freeman's like, "Look, Starfleet's not worried about aesthetics." Nonetheless, she goes against her mother, starts cleaning up some of these murals, and accidentally sets off a chain reaction where an energy hits Commander Ransom, classified as strange energies by Dr. Tiana. She comes down and says, do you know what happened with Gary Mitchell? Which is kind of funny. Gary Mitchell is actually an interesting story. You have to go back to the original series to go find out who Gary Mitchell is. And so they're being compared to Captain Ransom. And what ends up happening is Ransom turns into this godlike entity where he is now making these almost like Mount Rushmore out of his head. And he turns into this egomaniac. Ends up detaching, this is the weird part, he ended up detaching his body, so his head floated up to space, and he goes head to head with the Cerritos. Captain Freeman's like, "You need to stop doing this." Mariner's on the planet saying, "You need to shoot him with a torpedo." And she's like, "I'm not gonna do it. This is my friend. He is my number 1. I can't do that to him." Well, we end up finding out that compliments, validation are the things that ends up taking down his sword of energy. So that ends up happening, and Captain Freeman's talking him down. On the planet though, Mariner is beating the crap out of his body, headless body, may I add. And eventually, she ends up getting him to come back down to Earth in a sense, and he ends up being back to normal and is in sickbay to recover from the strange energies, as Dr. Tiana would say. The secondary story in this episode was Rutherford and Tendi. Tendi is now starting to see that even though Rutherford has a new implant, he's acting differently. The things that he didn't used to like to do before the accident, he's doing them now, including dating this new girl. And, Tendi's like, "You dated her last year, it didn't work out." He's like, "Yeah, but it's going really good. She's not having it." And I've shipped these guys since last season. Just get them together. It gets down to the point where she's chasing him down corridors with hypo spray saying, "This is what's gonna happen to your brain. You need to stop doing all these weird things." And they end up having a heart to heart. And he's like, "Look, you'll always be my friend." And they make up, and she whispers in his ear, "Don't date her though. I'm like, yes, 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 let's make this happen. Ship these two as a couple. At the tail end of this episode, we do see that Mariner ends up getting sent to the brig by Captain Freeman. Tendi and Rutherford go down to the brig and they talk to her and they're like, I wonder what Boimler's doing. Like, what kind of adventures is he on? It just goes on. And we cut to the Titan and there's Boimler screaming his lungs out at the con in sheer terror and agony because they're right in the middle of a fight. He is just not having it. Just the way I expect, Boimler is just not that guy. He's not that adventurous type. So he's obviously not adjusting well to life on the Titan with, Starfleet's 4th greatest captain. Yeah, I said it. I should do a captain's video. I totally feel like this was just not going to work out at all. And we're starting to see that maybe life on the Titan isn't as great as people in the Cerritos think his life is. So we'll see what happens with this season. I'm really excited to see, what caused him to not talk to his friends after he went off and got promoted. I want to see the character development. It's going to happen with Rutherford. He just went through something absolutely crazy and lost his memory. I wonder if he'll ever regain it back. I wonder if anyone will tell him what happened, like what's going to happen there. Tendi, I love Tendi. She's just a great ball of energy. Lots of fun. And of course we did see, the development between Mariner and Freeman. I hope that continues on and tells a great story. So I'm glad Lower Decks is back. I hope you are too. Go check it out on Paramount Plus. Well, that does it for me. I hope you enjoyed this episode recap of episode 1 of season 2, Lower Decks. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you write a comment, I'll write you back and we'll discuss all things Lower Decks. And we'll see you in the next video.